It is a typically warm day in Arizona, the Phoenix area, and I was sitting quietly at my desk editing the last video when the last thing I would expect to happen did in our RV park. It was an explosion, and one loud enough to rattle the windows in our RV. Wanting to make sure that the rig wasn't in immediate danger and to see just what caused that loud blast, I exited just to see other RVers in our park doing the same thing. It is quiet now, and there doesn't seem to be any smoke, fire, or debris. Of course, everyone had a theory, from a large dumpster falling off a garbage truck to a car crash, aircraft down, even a rig falling on some poor shade tree mechanic. But no evidence of anything. Just then, on a road to the east of our street, we heard some shouting and laughing. Was it a drunk chemist? So we began to move that direction. They were pointing to the back of an RV on our street. As we turned the corner, sure enough, on the back of the rig, the spare, a China bomb, literally on the rack with exposed belts and split open like a broken egg. The tire, which looked new other than the damage, had just chosen that moment to go high order. Catastrophically failed. The blast had even blown two of the roof edge running lights off their fifth wheel. Wow. Later in the day, I had a chance to talk with the owners, a really nice couple who told me that they had a blowout on their way to Arizona, so he just replaced all 4 tires on the ground with new Goodyear Endurance tires, but left the spare in place. Tires failing like this are no laughing matter. There are lots of folks every year who are maimed and or killed when they're too close to the blast. There's one reason why most folks who have been RVing for a while will tell you to swap out those older RV tires for new US-made ones to fit your rig, especially trailers, every few years. Make sure you check the pressure often, as there may be wild temperature swings even on short trips. A TPMS, or tire pressure monitoring system, can be a lifesaver, alerting you to potential problems. Talk to your tire pros to get the latest information. We'll add a link to a cage company, Brannick, here to show what can happen. So how about a few tire tips? Be sure you have the right tire for the job. Trailer tires, which include fifth wheels and so many others, are tires generally denoted with an ST, which stands for Special Trailer. These tires have heavier, stronger sidewalls to allow for the tight turns made by RVs, trailers, when maneuvering, in particular when backing. Standard truck or automobile tires may possibly peel off the rims, whereas the STs resist that. There's a reason why we RVers jokingly call the tires that come on the rigs when new China bombs. And that's because they are notorious for failing quickly. And yes, there are some foreign-made tires which can cut the mustard. But it's not up to us to say which is or isn't up to snuff this particular week. Do your own research, and not just from one source. Those tips? Check the manufacturer's date to be sure you get the full advantage of a newer tire. The date is a 4-digit number next to the dot sticker. The first 2 digits represent the number of weeks from the beginning of the next 2 numbers, which represents the year of manufacture. Buy from a reputable tire dealer who stands behind their brands and will warranty and has stores all over the U.S. Inspect your tires before each trip. Tread depth, uneven wear, foreign debris, nails, etc. And don't forget to check the sidewalls on both sides of the tires for cracks, bulges, and damage. People honking at you on the road usually means that something is up, unless they recognize you because you're some famous YouTuber, or maybe you cut them off. Slow down. Just because your tires have a high speed rating doesn't mean you should drive fast. You're not at the wheel of some nimble sports car on a closed track. In our world, speed kills. Rotate those tires frequently. Most say anywhere between 6,000 and 8,000 miles, and don't drive your rig overloaded. Don't forget your spare. This is the second time that we've been shorted by our rig's manufacturer. Take a look at this. Where we're at right now is this is the spare that comes with the Grand Design RV, and it's just like every other spare that comes on most RVs. The problem is that the dealers and even the manufacturer gives you decorative nuts to put on the mag wheels that come with your RV. You usually take these nuts when you have a flat and you're trying to trade out and use that to put the spare on. And the difference is that the wall thickness on the mag that's given to you from the RV is about like that. And the wall thickness on the spare, the steel tire, is quite a bit smaller. So these, because they have a fancy cap on them, bottom out before they actually get all the way tight to hold the wheel on. So you have to go to an auto parts store and buy yourself an extra set of lug nuts just to be able to use your spare tire. So you can see the difference. These will go all the way down and you can get the proper torque on your spare tire and wheel. These won't work in most cases with your spare steel rimmed tire and wheel. That's as far down as they'll go. And you can see that a standard lug nut that comes on most cars and trucks, wheels, will go all the way down just by virtue that there's no decorative cap on the end, so it can be snugged up as tight as it needs to go. Painful lesson if you're out on the freeway and you don't have any other option. That would bust your studs off to have something like this loose and try to make it down the road with it. So, poor forethought, different RV manufacturers. Make sure that you provide your people that are out there buying these expensive RVs with the right lug nuts to use the doggone spare.
Any higher, and I would have had it. I got more ass than you do.
This would have been a lot easier 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Folks, there are so gosh awful many things to learn about RVing, but an old Highway Safety Commission commercial says it pretty well. Arrive alive. If you haven't checked them in a while, what are you waiting for? Get out and check them now. So how about you come back next week and we'll tell you about our trip to the Verde Valley. In the meantime, travel safe.